Ranchers, Border Patrol agents, and a mom who lost 2 of her children to the fentanyl crisis plead for help yesterday at the House Judiciary Committee field hearing in Arizona on the southwest border.
The group started coming through, cutting holes in fences, draining water tanks, making it more difficult for ranching families to continue their legacy and heritage.
I have images now of over 3,050 people coming through the ranch. Are any of these 3,050 terrorists? This is a national security issue.
Each administration that I served under made efforts to secure our border based on the requirements of Border Patrol agents, except the Biden administration.
That retired CBP agent Chris Clem joins us now. Chris, thank you for joining us this morning. What did it mean to you as retired law enforcement and surrounded there by other community members who are dealing with the effects of our open border? How important was it to you to have Congress come and do this field hearing and hear your stories?
Yeah, good morning. It was great. I've been advocating for field hearings. I mean, that's how we, the people, get represented. We don't always get the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. So to have representatives from Ohio, Wisconsin, Oregon, California, and obviously Arizona down here listening to people. You know, I did this as a Border Patrol agent for over 27 years. I was a chief patrol agent in Yuma. But I was very humbled to sit there next to a rancher who's been doing this for such a long time and speak out about the numbers of people that crossed to his property. Another rancher and former sheriff's deputy whose family's lived here since the 1800s. And then certainly very humbling and emotional when you have a mother who's lost 2 children to fentanyl poisoning, speaking out and really humanizing the crisis that our communities have dealt with and are still dealing with to this day.
It is heartbreaking. Her story was riveting, but I did get a chance to meet Jim Chilton, that rancher, and go to his home and see the ranch. And it's just unbelievable to me that the FBI is not there. That he's been crying about this from the rooftops for a long time, has the video footage, and no one cares. He can't even get the Border Patrol to come to his ranch because they're so busy processing. I want you to look at these numbers. These are migrant encounters in the Tucson sector from 2024 all the way back to 2021. You see the numbers just keep going up and up. I guess I want to know what you hope to get out of this hearing. Do you expect anything to happen?
Well, first of all, I live now in Tucson sector, so those numbers are very alarming to me, especially because I think they lead the nation in gotaways as well.
Yes.
But, you know, look, these hearings, they codify and they memorialize what the people are wanting to hear and talk about. I think it sends a clear message. And as I mentioned in my statement, so many people on the other side will call this some kind of political stunt. And I would say the political stunt is not addressing it, not coming down here and seeing the impact. So I'm hopeful that this will send a clear message to both sides of the aisle that this is a national security issue, that this is a public safety issue, that this is a border security issue, and that we don't need to conflate immigration and border security. Let's get the border security piece right. Let's have a standalone bill. Let's secure the border so we can secure America, and then we can address the immigration backlog and the issues and how to deal with those that are already on the waiting list and those that, you know, should be removed because they didn't have a right to be here. But border security is national security, and we need to get on that first. And that's what I'm hoping that gets accomplished out of a field hearing like this.
Really quick, let me ask you one last question, and if you give me your answer as quickly as you can, Chris. You've seen this problem grow over a number of years. I'm sure you've thought about why. Why would Joe Biden open up the border at this level to see those numbers and having all these consequences that were talked about in your hearing, both, you know, the death of hundreds of thousands of young Americans, all the way to terrorists and Chinese crossing our border? Why would Joe Biden do that? What do you think?
You know, at first, you know, we thought it was just ineptness and just not knowing. But as, you know, we're trying to find some kind of reason and we get zero transparency, you know, for this administration on the why. You have to look at it as they're just trying to, you know, encourage more people here so they can change the electoral college and include the census number so they can get more representatives and try to remain in power. Again, they're about securing their narrative, not securing the border. I mean, that's the only thing that can make sense because nothing else they're doing makes sense. Yeah,
I agree. It's the only thing that makes sense. Chris, thanks so much for joining us and also for your testimony yesterday. It was very helpful for the country to know.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.